So continuing on with our series on numbers and operations, we'd like us to be able to add, subtract, multiply, and divide fractions. So let's start off with the addition. Okay, please write down how to add fractions. Everyone's favorite here. Okay. So let's look at an example. Let's say you're given two mixed numbers, 3 1/4 plus 2 5/6. What would you get? Might be a good idea to pause the clip here and then see if you can figure this out on your own. Okay. Now, in order to add fractions, we're going to need to check to see if you have common denominators. Okay, it's the bottom number of the fraction, and here, as you can see, we do not. So we're going to need to find what you call the least common multiple of 4 and 6. Okay, so step by step here. To add fractions, you need common denominators. I like to say the word denominators. Make sure to spell it correctly. Denominator. Okay. You need common denominators. Okay. So first, let's find the least common multiple in order to tell us what the common denominator is. Okay, so find the least common multiple. Common multiple. Some people call this the LCM. We're lazy to write, so we write everything shorthand. Let's find the LCM of 4 and 6. Okay, so the multiples of 4 are, well, ask yourself, 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. List them all out. 4 times 3 is 12, 4 times 4 is 16. You get the idea. The multiples of 6 are 6 times 1 is 6, 6 times 2 is 12, 6 times 3 is 18, 6 times 4 is 24, and on and on and on. Okay, see if you can identify the smallest number that is in common here. From what I see is 12. Okay, circle it. That will be our common denominator. Okay, so step 2, we're going to find the equivalent fraction of these two guys here. Okay, so again, step 2, find the equivalent fraction of the two mixed numbers here. Okay, so I have some space here on the left, so this is where I'm going to write down the equivalent fraction of, let's do 3 1/4. So it's going to be equal to 3 and something over 12. 12 came from our least common multiple that you identified earlier. Okay. So ask yourself now, what do you need to multiply 4 by to get 12? Okay, so 4 times 3 is 12, right? So take 1 times 3, which is 3. Okay, so these are equivalent fractions. We're halfway done. So let's look at 2 5/6 is equal to 2 and what over 12? Now ask yourself here, what do you need to multiply 6 by to get 12? I say 6 times 2. So take 5 times 2. It's 10. Now, as you can see, we have common denominators. We can do whatever we want to with the fractions. So in our case, you want to add them. So let's go ahead and do that. 3 plus 2 is 5. 3 plus 10 is 13 over the bottom number. Okay. Sometimes students say, well, I'm done. And sometimes they're right. But if you want to go all the way with this, if you have the top number bigger than the bottom number, many teachers are going to ask you to simplify this. Okay, so in our case here, we have a third step, which is to simplify. And our goal is to get the top number to be smaller than the bottom number. So another way you can write this here, 13 over 12, is, well, ask yourself, how many times can 12 go into 13? One time, with a remainder of 1 over the bottom number, which is 12. Okay, so this is the equivalent fraction of 1 and 1/12. So let's add that to the number 5. Okay, so take 5 plus 1 and 1/12. You're going to get 6 and 1/12. This would be our final answer. Piece of cake, right? Let that sink in. I think this kind of problem is worth another look at. So let's give you one more example of how we can add mixed numbers. Okay. Again, pause the clip if necessary so that you can pick up everything. Make sure to understand this concept because it will come in very handy. In the real world. Okay, so since we're going to look at the same type of problem, I'm going to leave some of the stuff up there and then just add to it. Okay, so let's say here we have a new set of numbers here. 9 and 1/3 plus 8 and 1/5. If you want to add them, what would you get? Okay, so again, pause the clip, try it out first before we look at it together. Okay, so first thing first, we have different denominators here, 3 and 5, so we can't add them yet. In order to add these two guys here, you need common denominators. Okay, we need the bottom numbers to be the same. Therefore, we need to find the least common multiple of these two numbers, 3 and 5. Okay, so find the LCM of 3 and 5. To identify the LCM, we need to list out the multiples of 3 and 5. So let's do 3 first. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15. You get the idea? Okay? Hopefully we'll be able to pull out a number here really quickly. Okay, so 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 4 is 20. And hopefully we can identify the number that is in common here. The smallest number that 3 and 5 have in common is 15, based on what I see. Okay, so let's go with that. So the LCM of 3 and 5 is 15. Step 2 is to find the equivalent fraction of these two guys. Okay, so the equivalent fraction of 9 and 1/3 is equal to 9 and what over 15? Okay, so ask yourself, what do you need to multiply 3 by to get 15? I say 5. So let's try that. 1 times 5 is 5. Okay, we're halfway there. So let's look at 8 and 1/5. Okay, the equivalent fraction of 8 and 1/5 would be 8 and something over 15. Okay, so what do we need to multiply 5 by to get 15? 5 times 3. So take 1 times 3. Okay, which is 3. As you can see, we have common denominators, 15. Okay, so we can do whatever we want to with the fraction. So in our case, we want to add, so take 9 plus 8, 17. The bottom number stays the same. 5 plus 3 is 8. Check that the top number is smaller than the bottom number. We're good to go. Okay, so our final answer is 17 and 8/15 for this one.